Welcome back to Turnbuckle Trash Talk. I am your officiant, Kent. With me, as always, is my tag team partner, the Latin liaison, Isaiah. We are here. It is Royal Rumble Sunday, and we're doing a special Royal Rumble episode.
We are, man.
We are also doing a live stream in the middle of this episode, which you'll be able to find on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. By the time this goes up, you'll have either seen it or you wouldn't.
Yeah.
So we're going to do before the live stream and after the live stream, kind of our predictions and our reactions to the Royal Rumble. So let's go. The Royal Rumble 2019 is taking place at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
And let's start off with the kickoff matches.
I'm so excited for the kickoff matches.
Really?
No. Go ahead.
First off, in a fatal four-way for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, we have Buddy Murphy, the champion, versus Akira Tozawa, versus Hideo Itami, versus Kalisto. Isaiah, what is your prediction for this match?
Murphy retains. Murphy's got to retain.
That's also my prediction.
Yeah.
They're not doing really anything
with the other guys.
205 Live at all. No. They're not even really doing anything with Murphy as a champion.
If you would have said Mustafa Ali, then I'd have been like Mustafa.
But he's probably going to be in the Royal Rumble. We'll talk about him later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I expect Buddy Murphy to retain. Again, they're not really doing anything with 205 Live or this championship.
Kill it. Just kill it.
It's kind of irrelevant. Yeah. I'd really love to see Hideo Itami win because he's Kenta.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to do so much better in WWE, and it's just
injuries, man.
Our other kickoff match is for the United States Championship. Rusev, the champion, versus Shinsuke Nakamura, the challenger.
Rusev is going to retain.
Rusev is going to retain.
Really?
Yeah.
You going with that?
Yeah.
I thought I was veering off. I thought it was going to be different.
Rusev Day is finally getting his comeuppance. It doesn't seem like they're going to just flip-flop the title that quickly. I could be wrong. I mean...
Yeah.
But it just seems like it's a smart idea to just keep it on Rusev. It's going to be a lot more fun. They're making plenty of merch sales. Yeah. I still am sad that Aiden English isn't part of it anymore. But overall, there's just no reason to take the title off of him right now.
I agree.
Let's get to the main card. First off, we'll start with, since they always have the matches in whatever order they feel like. Right. We'll start off with the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. The Bar, Cesaro and Sheamus, the champions, versus Shane McMahon and The Miz.
Shane McMahon and The Miz have to win. Whether if it's going to be a short reign, I think they're gonna win. And, I mean, eventually going into WrestleMania, they would possibly just face each other.
If they are going with the rumored original plan, it is expected that they are going to be feuding and facing each other at WrestleMania. Now, plans might have changed, but I'm going to agree with you on this one. I think Shane McMahon and The Miz have to win to lead to that feud.
To make that story even relevant.
So like Elimination Chamber or on an episode of SmackDown, there will be some fallout. But yeah, I think, again, the Bar, they're not really doing anything with them or the titles other than boosting up this Shane McMahon-Miz thing. So I think you're right. Shane McMahon and The Miz have to win. Let's go on to the SmackDown Women's Championship. Asuka, the champion, defending against Becky Lynch.
Now this is what we want, This is what I want. Asuka's gonna win.
I'm going to agree with you. I think Asuka's going to win.
He loves Becky Lynch, so I thought he was going to give me the heat.
Well, it's going to make more sense later on. I think Asuka has to win this match for my whole plan to come to fruition.
You're right.
So I agree. Asuka's been the champion for too short of a time to take it right off of her again. Yeah. They need to rebuild her, and this is the best way to do it, is to hold on. I think she's going to hold on to that title until WrestleMania when she faces Charlotte.
I agree. I like that.
Raw Women's Championship. Ronda Rousey, the champion, versus Sasha Banks, the challenger.
Ronda Rousey's not going to lose no time soon.
Unless there's some kind of like BS at the end of this match where they decide to throw it off and really screw everything up and have Ronda get distracted or something. I don't believe Sasha Banks can win this title now.
There's no way. Like, it would have to be like a complete...
It wouldn't be believable.
They would have to shake things up for real.
Really shake it up.
Like Bayley and Sasha team up and they go heel and they both
I think Bayley and Sasha are going to win the tag titles at the Elimination Chamber, which is the next pay-per-view. So you're going to tell me she's going to defend the Women's Championship and be in the Elimination?
Not likely. Yeah.
No. I think she's got to be focused on the tag team division right now. And they've got some good things going on in the women's division outside of Sasha. There's been no build for Sasha like that. So, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
WWE Championship. Daniel Bryan, the champion, versus AJ Styles, the challenger.
Bryan has to retain only because AJ is. I don't want to say he's steering. He's just riding off into the sunset, but I think AJ Styles' time as at least the main guy, I think it's about done, man.
Daniel Bryan's doing some of the best heel work of his career.
Yeah.
He's hot. He's on top of the world. And I agree with you. I think AJ Styles is kind of stepping back, walking away from this a little bit, maybe using him in more of an enhancement role, helping build like a Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Could be good for him. And I'm not even sure if he's going to be on SmackDown much longer. He might go to Raw.
Yeah.
So, Daniel Bryan, we both agree.
There you go.
We got to see some diversion
Hold on, man. Next time you pick first.
Universal Championship, Brock Lesnar, the champion, versus Finn Balor.
Brock Lesnar's going to win.
This is where we're going to disagree.
Yes!
This is where I'm going to throw my risky pick out there.
Yes.
I believe Finn Balor will appear as the Demon on tonight's show and defeat Brock Lesnar. I'm throwing it out there. Never bet against Finn. I am going to put it out there and hope and pray. I think you're right. It is going to be Brock Lesnar. But I hope and pray we see Finn Balor. Yeah. I'm going to risk it all on this. So I think Finn Balor's going to win.
Listen, man, the thing is, like, I think everyone on earth wants Balor to win, right? And we can't say that he can't win because it's not realistic, because of size difference or whatever. But he's fought some big dudes, So, I mean, as far as fighting Brock Lesnar is, I think he's short on time as well,
Right.
I think he's a spectacle. He's a draw. I think it's only a matter of time till somebody knocks him off. I thought it was going to be Drew McIntyre. But what the hell do I know?
Up until recently, I have not believed anything they've said about a McMahon shakeup.
Yeah.
It seems like it's just business as usual.
Exactly.
I think if they really want to make a believer out of me and make a believer out of the rest of the people, putting that title on Finn in this match would do it.
It would.
I think it would be a huge
I'd be happy.
surprise. It would make this a must-see pay-per-view.
I would.
Yeah, I would pop.
Yeah,
for sure.
And
you'll get to see us on the live stream if we do pop.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Women's Royal Rumble. Who do you think's gonna win?
Man, I'm gonna say it, man. Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley.
I'm gonna say it. I don't give a shit.
Former NXT UK Women's Champion.
Former NXT UK Women's Champion, former ex-girlfriend of mine. She's gonna win, man. She's gonna win.
I'm gonna disagree with you again.
What, that she was my ex-girlfriend?
Becky Lynch is going to win the Women's Royal Rumble.
No.
She is going to pull a switcheroo, knock someone out, take their spot, and go on to win the Rumble and take out Rousey
after
at
getting
WrestleMania.
her ass beat by Asuka.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm calling it now.
He said, yes.
It's probably going to be Charlotte, if I'm being honest. But I am going to say Becky Lynch is going to win.
Do you think Charlotte is what's going to be?
Oh, it's absolutely going to be Charlotte. If it's not Becky, it's going to be Charlotte.
Well, because
Charlotte wasn't in the last Women's Royal Rumble, which was the first one.
Do you say that because you don't think that they're as invested into anyone else's?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, the women's division is built around like 4 people at most.
It's growing.
But no, I'm calling Becky Lynch, although the reality will.
I'm calling Rhea Ripley tonight.
You're calling Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Men's Royal Rumble.
Men's Royal Rumble. Here we go, baby. R-Truth is winning the Royal Rumble. I told you, man. Hold on. This is not dirt sheet facts, people. This is not. These are hard stone, etched in stone like caveman facts. R-Truth, it's a moment where we all been waiting for. Sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the damn horn, and you gotta ride that sumbitch, and R-Truth, you're gonna ride that sumbitch. I'm sorry.
This is probably my safest guess of the night. Seth Rollins is going to win the Royal Rumble.
Oh, okay. Well, see.
Seth Rollins. Now, this kind of contradicts my plan because when I say Seth Rollins is going to win the Rumble, I think he's going to go on and fight Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Oh.
But if Finn Balor wins the title...
AJ Styles is going to win the Royal Rumble.
No.
I know. I don't know.
I think Finn Balor winning the title could be a great Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor at WrestleMania. Rematch from the original Universal Championship match.
You are right. He's the one who took him out with the shoulder thing.
True. But also, Seth Rollins versus Daniel Bryan would be a great match at WrestleMania too.
Yeah, you're right.
So one of those two matches could be great. So, I'm really hoping we're going to see the Beast get slain in this. Not have to worry. But I was so happy when I thought Brock Lesnar was gone. Only to have him come back and win again.
So are you telling me that R-Truth is not winning the Royal Rumble?
I'm telling you, R-Truth is not winning the Royal Rumble.
Okay, guys, the show is over. It was nice,
Okay, so man. I think after last night's Pride of Wrestling show, where I correctly picked the winner of the Student Battle Royal, I think that easily makes me predictions king.
Hey, listen, man. You don't have to rub it in,
So
we had a bet yesterday. It was a local battle royal, and he picked some guy who had awesome gear, and then I picked a guy who had awesome hair, and his gear went over.
That's right.
And I owed him dinner. I said, loser.
That's true. I won dinner last night. So what are we going to do for stakes for tonight?
There's 30 guys. It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough, but I mean, one of us is going to win and one of us is going to lose. We've diverted enough from each of these matches.
Are you testing my faith in R-Truth?
Is
that what you're doing?
Let's call it that. Not just a regular predictions, put something on the line type thing.
Listen, if R-Truth does not win the Royal Rumble, the next show I will sit in this chair in a dress.
That's just it?
That's it. I got no more money, man.
What if I lose?
You get to see me embarrassed.
What if I lose?
If you wear the dress, that's it.
All right, that's the bet. Whoever loses the predictions tonight.
And if we both lose, we're both wearing dresses. I guess. I don't know.
I don't know how we both lose.
Maybe we'll put that in the stream.
Because there were a couple matches where we said different people were gonna win.
Yeah.
All right. Whoever loses has to wear a dress in the next episode.
Correct. That is correct.
That is the wages. So let's get to our live stream of the Royal Rumble, and we will see you guys after the show for the remainder of this episode, where we will review and probably cry a little bit. And,
I'm going to hold it back. I got the tissues on deck.
And we'll see how this Royal Rumble goes.
And excuse the...
we've got a nice setup here.
Yeah, and that's why you probably see like a little
TV
here stuff. It's
we've got a great setup going in front of us.
It's about to get serious.
Yeah.
But needless to say, it's going to be a good night.
It is going to be a great
Very good night.
So we will see you guys after the Royal Rumble.
R-Truth is winning the Royal Rumble.
5 hours later.
One Rumble later. What'd you think about the show, Isaiah?
If we're going to be honest, I think I could have ran a better show.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
I could have ran a better...
Tell me about it.
It seems like the matches... There was certain matches that actually made it watch-worthy. The Cruiserweights was one of them.
Okay.
The women's matches actually weren't even that bad. The Women's Royal Rumble was absolutely dreadful to watch. I don't know, I'm kind of disappointed. Maybe because I lost, maybe,
You came in second. It's nothing to shake a stick at.
If you're not first, you're last.
With the predictions points, it came down to I had 8.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah had 7.
Yeah.
Nova had 6.
Mm-hmm.
And David King had 3.
Hey!
3.
That being said, we know next episode,
David King's on. Whenever he shows up.
I will be here next Sunday.
He is wearing a dress.
So,
and I'll be beautiful.
Let's run down the matches really quick. We'll give a couple thoughts on them, and then we're just going to wrap this up.
Do it.
So, an added match to the show. Well, I think the first match of the show was the Cruiserweight Championship Fatal 4-Way. Buddy Murphy did defend successfully against Akira Tozawa, Hideo Itami, and Kalisto. That was a good match.
Fantastic match.
It really...
Fantastic.
They come out and they show every single show why you should watch 205 Live. They
you
really
can tell those
do.
guys work together. Like
I just wish they had the backing. 205 Live had the backing that they deserve as a show, because then maybe with some better storytelling or some maybe upper echelon talent like a Finn Balor, they could make 205 Live into something really, really great. But
just get rid of it and put him on NXT or something.
Maybe. I mean, look at all the work that I'm already forgetting his name.
Mustafa Ali.
Mustafa Ali.
Muhammad Ali too.
It's been a long time. Mustafa Ali is doing in SmackDown. He's doing amazing work, so it is possible. After that, we saw an added match that wasn't on the original card, but we made predictions on the fly. It was Raw Tag Team Championships.
Yes.
Bobby Roode and Chad Gable defended against Razar of AOP and Scott Dawson of the Revival. Now, I don't know if their partners were both separately injured.
Yeah, I didn't hear
It was a
anything.
very odd decision.
It was weird.
And kind of an unnecessary match.
It was. I didn't
just
care
really
for it at all.
Filler on the kickoff show.
Yeah, I feel like
it didn't do any favors for Razar or Dawson.
at all.
There are plenty of other teams on Raw that could have taken that spot, and they just...
Oh yeah, for sure.
The Ascension weren't even in the Rumble. Just somebody.
Yeah, anyone. Anyone.
I'm just saying, if it's a kickoff show match and it was a last-minute decision, put somebody in there.
Breezango, I don't care.
All right.
Breezango.
After that, we saw the United States Championship. Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Rusev to gain the title. Now, in the midst of the match, Rusev bumped into Lana and hurt her ankle. Now, I think the whole point of this title change, the whole point of this match, was to establish that Lana was injured.
Okay, I hear you.
Because it would come up again later on during the Women's Royal Rumble match. We'll talk about that when we get to it. Again, this was a pointless title change.
It really was. They shouldn't even have gave it to Rusev. Why?
Just neither of them?
No. They should. I think they should have just let Shinsuke just go on about his business.
Yeah, there was no point to have the title change, just to send it right back again. With these short title reigns, I mean, you can't hold them forever.
No wonder why people are 20-time world champions.
Yeah.
Because of this shit. You know?
No, and it doesn't do anything for Shinsuke. It doesn't do anything for Rusev.
Doesn't do anything for me.
Doesn't do anything for any of us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was that. After that, we saw... I'm not even doing these in order anymore. Let's just go.
Whatever it is.
Oh, no, we should do it in order. Oh, we saw the SmackDown Women's Championship match.
Yes.
This was the start of the main card. Asuka defended against Becky Lynch and won.
Yep.
It was a great match.
It was a great match.
It was a very good match.
I was very happy with the match.
And it was just... It fulfilled kind of the story role that it was supposed to fulfill. They both looked dominant, but Asuka came out on top.
They stated the facts, said no one is ready for Asuka.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. Then we had the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match where we saw new champions, Shane McMahon and The Miz. Predictable. Just predictable.
Why are we watching this?
I mean, the bar was dominant throughout the match, as they should be, but Shane McMahon and The Miz pulled out the win, as we expected. And it doesn't do anything for tag team wrestling right now.
We're talking about the bar. The bar who's actually beaten several
beaten the
high-class,
Usos, beaten the New Day, beaten the Hardys, I believe.
I think they've also beaten the what's it called, the Wyatt family as well too.
Mm-hmm.
They've done. Man, what are you gonna do?
But I get it. Shane McMahon and The Miz are the focus, but this is just further evidence how little tag team wrestling means right now.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
Because they're just trying to build this story of Shane McMahon and The Miz at WrestleMania. That's just it.
It's stupid.
After that, we saw the Raw Women's Championship. As expected, Ronda Rousey defended against Sasha Banks.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
They made it look like a competitive match.
Which it wasn't.
Which it wasn't.
But they made it look like it.
They made it look like it. They did make Sasha look brutal. They made her look good. My one problem with this match was the post-match.
Yeah.
They stretched it out for so long,
too long
to have Sasha throw up a 4 horsewomen sign to piss off Rousey.
Yeah.
That was it. It went for so long, and
way too long.
part of the problem with this show overall was that it was just so long.
Mm-hmm.
There was so much wasted time.
Agreed.
And I think it's done nothing again to help their cause.
I don't know
You
where
can
they're going with
do
it.
less but better.
Yeah.
So Ronda Rousey retains the championship. Then we saw the Women's Royal Rumble. Yeah,
It was the Women's
it
Royal
was the
Rumble.
Women's Royal Rumble. This match was too long.
Way too damn long.
It was too long. It was
I didn't
longer than
count
the
it.
men's.
Yeah, I didn't count
believe.
it, but oh, hell yeah.
And there were comedy bits that weren't necessary. The Riot Squad getting involved after having been eliminated. They came back out with Ruby Riot and got involved for no reason. But as foretold,
Yeah.
Becky Lynch took the place of Lana in kind of a weird fashion of Lana walks out, she's injured.
Due to the match
She
earlier.
drops down, and they announce the rest of the participants.
Yeah.
And then Becky comes out and is like, I'm taking her place.
Yeah.
To fit Finlay, who eventually just goes, okay.
Go ahead.
Like, no attack, no pre-planning. It was just kind of like, well, she's hurt, so I'm going to take her spot, okay? But Becky went on to win the Royal Rumble. They had Charlotte put on some serious ferocity. I think they're really trying to establish her as a heel for when she fights Asuka at WrestleMania.
That's what it seemed like.
I think they just really want to put her on the bad guy side and keep Asuka on the good guy side. So that's kind of the storytelling I saw from that. But Becky Lynch wins the Royal Rumble. Then we saw the WWE Championship match. Daniel Bryan defended against AJ Styles. I don't feel like this was their best outing.
Nah.
I don't think this is their best effort. I think we've seen a lot better from them in the past. But
Oh, for sure.
any thoughts on any of this? I'm just rattling through it.
No, it was just today's show was just a disappointment for me, man. It was all me.
Yeah,
You know?
nothing was excelled.
Exactly.
Then we saw the Universal Championship match. Brock Lesnar did defeat Finn Balor, but this was
a good match. That was a good match.
Brock Lesnar, we felt like they were running short on time, but Brock Lesnar, I have to give some applause to because he really made Finn Balor look good. You can tell the competitors Brock Lesnar respects because he makes them look good. Finn Balor, AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, these are guys he clearly respects.
Not Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman, he'll shoot on.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns, whatever. But he clearly has a lot of respect for these guys because he made Finn look like $1 million.
He did.
Now we did see a post-match beatdown on Finn by Brock. I think this is only setting us up for the winner of our next match, the Men's Royal Rumble match. Seth Rollins did win.
He did.
But he won in, again, predictable fashion.
Yeah.
He took the bump on the outside. They sidelined him until near the end of the match where he would come in and win.
I think Seth Rollins is going to cash in, and he's going to cash in on Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan, not Brock Lesnar.
I think the Demon is going to come back for Brock Lesnar because there was no reason for him to attack him afterwards.
Other than to set him up as a heel, though. Because we won't see him until WrestleMania. He's not going to make more appearances before
of course
WrestleMania.
not. Yeah.
So they made him look like a badass who's mean and bad guy because Rollins has to be the workhorse hero.
Right.
So I believe personally Seth Rollins is going to go after Brock Lesnar for that title.
Right.
But we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, if WrestleMania is anything like this show, then I'm not really in for a treat.
Overall thoughts, I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Not great, not horrible. Like I said, kind of predictable. I mean, guessing 8 out of 10 matches correctly is it doesn't say much about the story they're trying to tell.
Not at all.
But it was okay. It had some ups and downs. I think the best part was spending it with everybody on the live stream.
Yeah, exactly.
And with each other, hanging out on the
awesome.
set here. We had a lot of fun. Ate some pizza, made some jabs at the show.
We did. We enjoyed it. It was a good time. Everybody was active, interactive with us.
Absolutely.
It was just communicating, asking questions.
And it was nice to see how many faces just jumped in and said a few words, and even if they left early, it was a good time.
They showed the love, man. That's awesome.
So it's been a few days since the Royal Rumble, and I wanted to record some more thoughts to include with this week's episode about the Rumble. Obviously, since Raw and SmackDown have occurred, we've seen that Seth Rollins will be facing Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and Becky Lynch will be facing Ronda Rousey. Now, I personally think these are the best possible outcomes from the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. So looking back on the pay-per-view itself, I would say it was a success. Yes, it was very, very long. And I think that's the biggest problem with WWE pay-per-views, especially these big 5 pay-per-views that they have now, is that they're just so long. So I thought to myself, what are some possible solutions to help solve this problem? Because these are almost unbearable to watch. I mean, even a 3-hour episode of Raw can seem like an arduous task sometimes. And that's the last thing you want when you're an entertainment company. You don't want what you are providing as a product to be a difficulty for your viewers. So I thought maybe we could take a hint from Japan, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and split the pay-per-view into a multi-day event. Now bear with me on this because some people might think, oh my god, more days, more shows. Well, here's what I'm thinking. Usually with a Big 5 pay-per-view, you have a takeover. Move the takeover to Friday night. Have part 1 of the pay-per-view on Saturday, part 2 on Sunday. Break them up into about 4 hours apiece, and you have a lot more opportunities to spread out these matches, give them more time to breathe, tell more of a story. One of the things I noticed on the Royal Rumble was that it seemed like they were really rushing near the end because they were in a time crunch, and that's just not good. Also, they couldn't pace out their matches and break out their matches to make each one as enjoyable as the last. I think the match that suffered the most from this on the pay-per-view was Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. A dream match to any wrestling fan. Two of the greatest competitors in the world facing off. And yet, at times during that match, I felt like you could hear a pin drop in that arena. It was exhausting to watch that match because it had just followed up an over hour-long Women's Royal Rumble match. And that's a huge drawback. In a match like that, you want it to be a centerpiece. You want it to be a highlight. And they just couldn't make it that because of the way they had laid out their matches. Now, I'm not saying they should have had both Rumble matches back-to-back. That would have been insanely difficult to watch. But if you had one Royal Rumble match main event on a Saturday show and one Royal Rumble match main event on a Sunday show, it provides a great number of storytelling opportunities. It gives your fans some time to digest and think about what they've just seen, and then go into the next day with a fresh mindset, a fresh attitude. You could have a world title match on both shows. You could have a women's title match on both shows. You could have a tag team title match on both shows. I remember during the Attitude Era and stuff like that, when these pay-per-views were 3 or 4, maybe 5 hours long, it was an exciting event. You watched the whole thing, and it kept you hungry for more at the end, usually, or at least gave you some sort of closure on what you just watched. Now, there were times during the Royal Rumble that we just wanted to turn it off, that we were done, we'd had our fill, and that's not the way we should feel. We are all hardcore wrestling fans. We all love watching this stuff, but if it's a task, if it's something you have to work in order to accomplish, that's just not what you want. That's not what you want. You want to have a good build-up with a strong main event, and we just couldn't have that because there are just too many things to watch. I mean, if you consider now with the addition of the women's tag team titles, that's 9 titles. 9 titles on Raw and SmackDown combined. And that's a whole pay-per-view in itself. So whether it's trying to fit them all in or leaving some of them out, it's just too much, and I feel like it discredits the competitors. It discredits the divisions. And that's just not what you want. I'm not saying make them brand specific. I'm not saying have all the Raw, matches on one show and all the SmackDown on another. Mix it up. Find a good layout where you have an equal level of excitement going into those shows, where there's an equal level of draw going into those shows. For example, maybe having the men's Royal Rumble match on Sunday, but having the Raw title match on Saturday. Those are 2 things that have a really good drawing power that will convince their viewers to watch. Also, you get the bonus of more ticket sales. You get the bonus of making it a weekend-long event where people will fly in. You could have cons all week. It could be like WrestleMania week with the added bonus of, just more wrestling to watch, but not too much wrestling to watch. Does that mean that they'll be able to run big stadiums? Maybe not. Maybe they have to reduce to a smaller venue, but that's not even a bad thing either. It gives it more of an intimate feel. So I think that is a good direction to head in regards to that. As for the show itself, I think the right people won. Seth Rollins winning the men's Royal Rumble. Becky Lynch winning the women's Royal Rumble. I feel like A lot of people could have said that that was a very predictable ending to those matches, but predictable doesn't always mean bad, especially if what you are predicting is what you want. We got to see the ending we wanted, or at least a lot of us. I know some people probably would have had different picks, but for the most part, this is a good story heading towards WrestleMania. This builds excitement heading towards WrestleMania. So it's nice to be surprised. It's nice to have that shocking moment, but it's also nice to get what you're looking for, or at least get something entertaining. I mean, I feel like it worked out just the way it should. I felt like overall it was a very quality pay-per-view, and if they had shaved an hour off of it or shaved a little bit more off of it and kept their storytelling tight and to the point, I feel like we all would have left that pay-per-view feeling much, much happier than we were. But even now, in retrospect, thinking back a few days, I am happy with it. I am happy with how it went. Yes, I was exhausted at the time, but I can think back on that pay-per-view fondly, and I'll be able to refer to it in the future in a positive light of when they were actually listening and doing what was best, I think, for the future and for the story they were trying to tell. So yeah, I think that was a good thing. Also, thinking back on the Royal Rumble matches themselves, I have grown accustomed to look forward to the surprises of returning legends or everything like that. But again, in retrospect, I'm thinking, especially having had some exposure to the business now, I think they made the right call. Use the NXT talents. Use the talents you have on the roster. Yes, it's really nice to see the legends enter those matches, but usually they enter and you know they're not going to win. They're just there for a little extra pop or a little extra something. I think utilizing the talents you have allows them to highlight themselves. It does more for the future and the story going forward. And I think those are just benefits on top of benefits for the show. Because, you know, a legend shows up in the Royal Rumble, they're probably not going to be on the next day at Raw. They're probably not going into a storyline. Now, if they are, for example, if The Rock was making a comeback and actually going to go into a program, yes, that's a great way to introduce him and a great way to set it off. But if that's not the plan, if there isn't a plan going forward, then it's just good to stick with the talent you have and work with the people who are going to be there the next day. There's enough stars on this show that you don't have to rely on nostalgia. Although if nostalgia is something you're looking for, do something like they did a few years ago with like the gimmick battle royal, where you have these legends or these stars come back and compete in their own contest. Maybe a 10-person battle royal or a 15-person battle royal. I'm not asking for another 30-man rumble, but I'm saying if you wanted to do something like that as a highlight, that's perfectly acceptable. But the Royal Rumble itself, in my mind, is meant to highlight the stars of today and to determine the stars of tomorrow. The winner usually goes on to something great. Now, we've also had winners who've already had a great career, but this is something that helps endorse or helps benefit any resume. So, personally, again, I thought it was a great show. One of the downsides for me was Nia Jax being in the Men's Royal Rumble. I didn't see a purpose for that. I'm sure they're trying to make use of it on the stories now, but it just detracted from that Rumble. That was the person I wanted to see least in that match, and I felt like now that we have a Women's Royal Rumble, the shine or the benefit or the history making of having a woman in the Men's Royal Rumble has kind of diminished. It's not as big of a deal. I mean, it's already happened a handful of times with Chyna and Beth Phoenix and, you know, Karma and people like that. So I'm not sure if they're expecting it to have the same weight or have the same shock value, but it really doesn't do anything for me. So anyway, those were my extra thoughts on the Royal Rumble. I'm going to switch it back over to the plugs from the original episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. And communicate with us. Let us know what your thoughts are. You know, if you want to send us an email, you can do so with your thoughts or with questions or anything like that. Or you can send us videos, and we'll find a way to cut them into the show and give our feedback on them. We want to make this an interactive process. This isn't just us talking at you about wrestling. We want to talk with you about wrestling. Anyway, let's get over to the plugs. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us for our Royal Rumble coverage. We are exhausted. We've already been at this for about 8 hours now.
Yeah.
It's time for us to wrap up. But if you like what you see, please check us out in the video realm on YouTube or Facebook. Check us out on the audio realm on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Podbean, SoundCloud. We put a new episode out every Thursday. We're releasing bonuses all the time. We've had some great Making Town specials on YouTube lately, so check those out. And show some love and support for the channel because we really appreciate each and every bit of it. We've got t-shirts for sale, so come see us at live events. And if you're a promoter and you're interested in having us at your show, all you have to do is hit us up, turnbuckletrashtalk@gmail.com. But for now, I am the officiant Kent, joined by my tag team partner, the Latin liaison, Isaiah, and we will see you next time.